For 70 long years, the Jewish people lived as exiles in the land of Babylon, far from their home, their culture, and their God. It was a time of immense hardship and spiritual testing. They were constantly longing for Jerusalem, the city of their ancestors, and especially for the temple, the sacred place that had been tragically destroyed by their enemies. The temple's destruction was a deep wound in their collective memory. Through all those difficult years, they never stopped praying, pouring out their hearts to God. They held on to the hope that God had not forgotten them, that he would one day remember his covenant and restore them to their land. Then, in a moment of divine intervention, God moved the heart of King Cyrus of Persia, the ruler of a vast empire. Cyrus, though not an Israelite and worshipping different gods, declared under what he believed was divine inspiration that God had appointed him to rebuild the temple in Jerusalem. This was an unprecedented act of kindness and a testament to God's power to work through anyone. He issued a formal proclamation stating that any of God's people who wished to return home were now free to do so and to rebuild their lives in their temple. Not only were they allowed to go without fear of reprisal, but their neighbors, the people among whom they had lived in exile, were instructed to help them with generous gifts of silver, gold, and essential supplies for the journey and the rebuilding effort. This remarkable turn of events was the direct fulfillment of Jeremiah's prophecy, a powerful demonstration of God's promise kept, even after decades of waiting and uncertainty. The king's unexpected words brought an overwhelming wave of hope and unspeakable joy to every Jewish home throughout the vast land of Babylon. Families rejoiced, dreams were rekindled, and spirits were lifted. The seemingly endless long exile was finally coming to an end. A new beginning, filled with the promise of restoration and renewal, was at hand. God had chosen to use an unlikely king, a foreign ruler, to deliver his chosen people from captivity. The dawn of freedom broke, chasing away the shadows of despair, and with renewed hope and determination, the people eagerly prepared to return to their beloved homeland. God's unwavering faithfulness was now undeniably clear for all to see, a beacon of hope shining brightly in their lives. The long-awaited journey home, the path towards Jerusalem, was finally about to begin. News of Cyrus's decree spread quickly, carried by messengers throughout the land. The words on the scroll echoed with freedom and a new beginning, filling the exiles with uncontainable excitement and joy. The sound of celebration filled the air as families embraced the hope of returning home. Families gathered their belongings, ready to leave captivity behind and embark on a journey towards freedom. Each item packed was a symbol of hope for a new life in their homeland. Leaders, wise and respected, priests devoted to serving God, and Levites felt God stirring their hearts with a renewed sense of purpose, inspiring them to rebuild his house and restore his glory. Neighbors gave generously, offering their support and resources to those preparing for the journey. Silver, gold, precious goods and animals, providing essential supplies for the long and arduous journey ahead. King Cyrus, in a gesture of goodwill, returned the sacred items stolen from the temple, recognizing their importance to the Jewish people, entrusting them to Sheshbazzar, Prince of Judah, a leader chosen to guide and protect these precious artifacts. These treasures were more than just objects. They were a symbol of God's enduring faithfulness, a promise of restoration, and a tangible link to their heritage. The people saw God's hand in every detail, recognizing his divine orchestration in their liberation and return. With hearts full of hope and gratitude, they set out for Jerusalem, leaving behind the land of exile and embracing the promise of a new beginning. God was not just sending them home, he was paving the way for their future. He was going with them, guiding their steps and protecting them on their journey. The road ahead was long, stretching across vast landscapes and challenging terrains, but their faith was strong, fueled by the promise of restoration and the unwavering belief in God's plan. The promise of restoration, once a distant dream, was now becoming a tangible reality, drawing them closer to their beloved Jerusalem. After a long and arduous journey marked by years of exile and longing, nearly 50,000 exiles, weary but filled with hope, finally arrived in Jerusalem and Judah. It was a momentous occasion, a return to their roots after generations of displacement. Each family, carrying their few remaining belongings and the weight of their history, returned to their ancestral town, eager to rebuild their lives and communities. Leaders like Zerubbabel, a descendant of David, and Jeshua the high priest, stepped forward to guide them, providing direction and encouragement during this critical time. They were united in purpose, driven by a shared desire to restore their homeland and rebuild the temple. The community included priests, who would re-establish the religious practices, Levites, who assisted in the temple services, singers, who would lead the people in worship, and servants. Everyone, regardless of their background or skill, had a vital role to play in the restoration. Their first collective act, demonstrating their renewed commitment, was to give freely, offering their resources for the rebuilding of God's house, the heart of their community and faith. Gold representing wealth and prosperity, silver symbolizing purity and redemption, and garments precious and carefully preserved were offered joyfully, not out of obligation, but as a testament to their devotion. Their generosity reflected their deep and abiding love for God, a love that had sustained them through years of hardship, and a renewed hope for the future, a future where they could once again worship freely in their own land. Everyone contributed, money, no matter how little, skills, honed over years of practice and labor, willingly offered to the common cause. The people settled back in their long-abandoned towns, ready to face the challenges ahead and begin the arduous task of rebuilding. They understood that they were not just restoring a physical building, a structure of stone and wood, but their very identity as God's chosen people, a nation defined by its faith and covenant. United in faith and strengthened by their shared history, they prepared to honor God together, rebuilding not just a temple but a nation. Before rebuilding the temple, the people knew worship must come first. In the 7th month they gathered in Jerusalem as one. Jeshua, Zerubbabel, and the priests built the altar of God. Surrounded by hostile neighbors, they chose faith over fear. They offered sacrifices morning and evening as Moses had commanded. The Festival of Tabernacles was celebrated, remembering God's care in the wilderness. Worship became their daily rhythm, even before the temple's foundation was laid. By building the altar first, they put God at the center. Their relationship with Him was their true foundation. This act of worship prepared their hearts for the work ahead. With worship restored, the people began rebuilding God's house. They provided resources and materials, gathering the best for the temple. Under Zerubbabel and Jeshua's leadership, work began in earnest. Levites supervised, and everyone had a part to play. When the foundation was laid, priests and Levites led in praise with trumpets and cymbals. The people sang, "He is good, His love endures forever." Shouts of joy filled the air, but some wept, remembering the former temple. Joy and sorrow mingled, echoing through the city. The sound was a powerful testament to God's faithfulness. A new chapter had begun for God's people.